So, as I said in the comment that I posted and pinned, I've grabbed a camera and I'm off out, and this is probably shot the day before this video goes out. I'm probably going to stick this one out tomorrow, but it's nice to have some discussion straight away from the particular video that I post, and this is brilliant for me. I've got nothing to do on a Sunday. It's still classed as work, so I can go out and try and answer a few people's questions. So, roundabouts and mini ones in particular, should they have 2 lanes on the approach? No, I don't think so. There are some situations where there is enough room, but it always seems to cause problems. I even had a recent analysis clip where one of my viewers was going ahead and then someone from a right turn lane zoomed past and then clipped, and they went straight over the roundabout. So they do cause issues. Road planners, I'm not sure why this would be thought of as a good thing. Even in the clip that went out yesterday about my viewer when he sent in all of them, the final clip, the one in question, it doesn't seem as though there's really enough room. There is enough room for cars to go actually around, but how many people from the left lane, the ahead lane, are going to go round and accommodate people turning round the roundabout? So we're going to go into detail a little bit more a bit further up. I'm going to go to a roundabout that I know of that has 2 lanes on the approach, that again is ridiculous to have 2 lanes on the approach to a mini roundabout, and then we'll try and help with a few things. But we've got an ideal scenario here in front of us for me to explain the main bit and the main question from the clip. Now, just have a quick look at this. You've probably seen this before in a few of my videos. It's the Melon Road that we're on, which goes to the racecourse. It's quite famous through the Grand National. But that scenario that I've just gone across, it's a narrowing. Now, why have I just gone onto this? Because the question that people were asking me about that roundabout doesn't look wide enough. He had no other choice to go across the roundabout. Well, all that scenario on the clip yesterday was a narrowing. No different than that bridge. It's really wide enough for 2 lanes on the approach, but then it doesn't quite get wide enough on the roundabout. There's not quite enough room. So what should you do? You should share. You should take it in turns. You should approach with that speed that's going to allow you to slow down. And yes, there could have been vehicles to the left, and if we look at the last part of the clip just before it ends, you can see that there's potentially another car that did come past, but you have to have an ability to adjust your speed to then fit in where there is a space, and it's no different than any other clip that I've done before on merging in turn or anything like that. So I'm giving way to this one. If this white one cut the roundabout, it would have caused me a problem, but because he didn't and he went round, it was no problem. And that's another nice point which I've fell upon that can relate to the clip in question. Our camera didn't go around and it just caused problems. So well done to the Volkswagen SUV there for doing it properly. Should I have not gone in that situation? Well, I was well within my right to go. I wasn't going to cause that Volkswagen SUV any issue by me proceeding. And if we go back to the clip, the car that came the other way, should it have caused the camera any issue by proceeding? No, not if the camera had done things correctly. And that's the main bit that we're I'm really going to try and discuss and get across from this today, that there were loads of people who commented about that lack of space, and it wasn't big enough, and the camera had no choice but to go across the roundabout. And that for me is a little disappointing, because it's an easy fix. I've just explained it. You just slow it down and then wait until there is a gap to go. People are nowadays really, really upset when their path, their priority, their right of way is interrupted. And that doesn't go with my thought of sharing the roads. It doesn't take much to fix this if you think about what I'm talking about. Just with this next mini roundabout, I'd just like you to just have a little think about the length of time and the course that it takes me to go around compared to across. And that is a big deal in the clip in question from yesterday. So I'm going to go around do it properly, but it's a much shorter course if we go across. And that's the thing that catches people out quite a lot on mini roundabouts. So that's really down to the amount of people who do cut straight across them, as I call them, drive over abouts. So I've probably, I think I have, explained everything I wanted to do on the way up to this roundabout. You may even be familiar with this stretch of road. This stretch of the road is my famous clip that got taken down about always blame the learner. This is this area, and we've got a little situation with a parked lorry. Now we're all good. But the roundabout that we're going to go and have a look at is a little touch further up, and it really highlights everything about why mini roundabouts with two lanes on the approach are problematic. There's literally no reason and no need. This road has got one lane on it, and the road to the left and the road to the right has only got one lane from either direction on it. So it's not a dual carriageway. So why do they even think that putting two lanes on the approach is going to be something that's going to help traffic flow, where all it does is really forces people into the same sort of space? So I don't really understand how the Highways Agency can actually certify things like this are safe and acceptable, because it's not. Although the drivers are incapable, you have a look at this. All it does is just increase risk if there are two lanes, which there are. How is this wide enough? There's no one around. I'm just going to stop and let people have a look at it. How is this wide enough for two lanes? It's absolutely ludicrous. And how is it wide enough now at this point for a car to my left? It isn't. And it's the same from each direction as well. There are two lanes from every which way that you approach that roundabout. Who thought that was a good idea? But it still should be down to us drivers to deal with that. And that really is the big problem with our camera. He didn't deal with it. He steamed straight across. Steamed, I'm just going to pick up on my own word there, listening to what I was saying. He steamed in. He did steam in. And speed is also another massive factor why things go wrong on mini roundabouts. Sometimes there is very good view, and the lack of steering required from a particular direction, which really relates to the cars in the left lane on the clip who were going straight. They had very little steering to do, and they could see, although they should have taken maybe a little bit wider course. And that then does cause the problems as well, because other people from different directions can't see quite as much, and then you've suddenly got a vehicle that's steaming onto a roundabout. So my advice would be as well to anyone, even though you've got priority and you can see it's clear and the people from the left have to give way to you. Sometimes your speed makes things really, really awkward and difficult. So appreciate that when you're doing mini roundabouts also. So hopefully there's a little bit of learning that's gone on from me just popping out and doing that. I was a little bit, I won't say taken aback, no, that's too strong. I was a little bit miffed maybe at some of the comments that said about he had no other option. I get how comments work. Sometimes people comment without proper thought. They get involved without really analysing everything, and it's easy for me in hindsight. I get to look at the clip many times and think about what I'm saying, so I understand that. But to the people who said about he had no other option, hopefully that you've taken my point on board. Let's just have another look at this one again from this scenario. There's no in the world it's wide enough for 2 lanes. I'm going to go slow enough to be able to stop from them, and if that oncoming car had dived out, I was always ready to stop. So speed, as I've said, is a big deal as well. But hopefully people have learned something, and I don't want people to be embarrassed that their comments have caused me to go out and do this video. I'd like to say thanks, because any comment like that, any misunderstanding, is really important for me to pick up on, and then it's allowed me to go off and try and educate even more. So my viewers, top draw. See you soon.